In this video, I will compare the dual cameras on the Mi A1 with those on the OnePlus 5. After comparing the camera on the A1 with the G5s Plus in my last video, this one is the next most requested video from you guys. While both these devices look very similar, keep in mind that the Mi A1 comes at Rs 15,000, which means it costs less than half as much as the OnePlus 5. Now before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. Let us quickly get the specifications out of the way. Mi A1 packs in dual 12-megapixel cameras with face detect autofocus and dual tone flash. One of the camera has a regular 26mm wide lens, while the other has a 50mm telephoto lens with an aperture of f2.6. OnePlus 5 also has a dual camera setup with face detect autofocus on its back. The wide-angle camera has a 16-megapixel sensor with f1.7 aperture and electronic stabilization, while the telephoto camera has a 20-megapixel sensor with f2.6 aperture. At front, Mi A1 has a 5-megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture, while the OnePlus 5 has a mammoth 16-megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture. Dual cameras on both these phones have similar functions. You can choose between either of the cameras while clicking images. They also allow you to take images with depth effect by simultaneously gathering information from both the cameras. On the A1, for some reason, you don't have the option of switching to the telephoto lens while shooting video, which you can do on the OnePlus 5. Now that we know the function of dual cameras on both these smartphones, let us take a look at some of the images and videos that I took with them. Both the cameras capture a lot of information in good lighting conditions. The 16-megapixel sensor on the OnePlus 5 captures more details and sharper images, but the performance of the Mi A1 is also good. Colors from the OnePlus 5 are a bit vibrant, and it also has a better dynamic range of the two. Here we have a similar shot from the wide lens of both these phones, and now the same shot from the telephoto lens. Image from the OnePlus 5 is slightly more detailed, but you won't notice it if you don't zoom into these images. Close-up shots from the OnePlus 5 look better thanks to the wide f1.7 aperture. You can see the background being blurred out very nicely. Thanks to the telephoto lens, you can also take shots with depth effect like this. No camera is perfect, and both struggle when there are objects with many edges. But the OnePlus seems to be doing a better job of the two, which was expected. That being said, I am surprised to see such good results from the depth effect of the Mi A1. Here are images without the HDR mode turned on, and now the same image with the HDR mode turned on. The image from the Mi A1 is more impressive because its original image was darker and it brought up a lot of details from the shadows and also preserved the highlights in the sky. Until now, we saw that the images from the OnePlus 5 are clearly better, but the Mi A1 is also holding up very well in this competition. As we move to lower lighting conditions, difference in the images start getting noticeable. Wide aperture on the OnePlus 5 helps it capture more details, and its wider dynamic range comes into play in these situations as well. Mi A1 also performs good for the price at which it comes in, but there is a lot of noise in its low light images since the camera cranks up the ISO to compensate for the narrower aperture. All of these low light images from the OnePlus 5 are very sharp, show better colors of the two, and also have a lot of detail in there. In this image, you can see the amount of noise being captured by the camera of the A1 compared to the OnePlus 5. The 16-megapixel front-facing camera on the OnePlus 5 captures more details and better dynamic range of the two. Coming to the video performance, both the phones lack optical image stabilization, but the electronic stabilization on the OnePlus 5 does a great job even while shooting 4K videos. Video from the A1 is not stabilized at all, and it looks really shaky. I hope that Xiaomi will add some sort of software stabilization to make the videos usable with future software updates. To conclude, the camera on the OnePlus 5 is definitely better, but that doesn't mean the one on the Mi A1 is not good. It can take some really good images in bright lighting conditions, and I actually prefer the HDR shots that come out of it. So if camera is the main deciding factor for you, and you have that extra cash, then definitely go for the OnePlus 5, as you also get a lot better internal hardware and overall better experience for the extra price that you pay. But if you only have 15,000 rupees, you can go with the Mi A1, as you still get a good camera at this price point. The main point of this comparison was that you can spend as little as 15,000 rupees and still end up with a good smartphone that has a decent camera for general use. In my last video, I compared the camera on the Mi A1 with the camera of the G5s Plus. If it is something that you are interested in and you haven't checked it out yet, I will leave a card to that video on the top right corner of the screen and also link it in the description section. I hope you guys understand the efforts that go behind making these videos. I purchased the Mi A1 on the launch day, which was really hard to find at the offline stores. On the same day, I went out and shot these amazing camera samples. And now have this video ready for you guys. If you appreciate this, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel for a lot more amazing videos like this. That is it for this video guys. You can also check out some of the other videos on this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.